Hey, what's up? Improvement Warrior, Jason Yun, back with you again. Hope you're having a fabulous day. Welcome to the next Improvement Warrior University webinar. Second time I'm recording it, had some technical difficulties, so let's get right into this. This one is the Epi-Paleo diet, part 1. Let me share my screen here. Here we go. So right into it. Epi-Paleo diet, part 1. The nutrients needed to heal and run your brain. So right into it. And remember, do not watch this video unless you have watched the other webinars and other resources, because everything is cumulative, okay? We are on a journey to take you to your optimal self, reverse some diseases, get you better, get you feeling awesome, okay? So life equals disease avoidance and inflammation, and that equals inflammation. So inflammation is cell chaos. And basically, if you cut the chaos, you cut the inflammation. Epi-Paleo diet will do that. All diseases start from inflammation, and pretty much all of them stem from brain inflammation. Is the starting point. We have the biggest brain of all animals. Seafood helped to create our big ass brain, and seafood also will help to maintain our brain, okay? Which the Epi-Paleo diet is all about. So peroxisomal proliferator activated receptor, PPARs for short. You have your vitamin D receptor, VDR, the retinoid X receptor, RXR. All of those equal our DNA receptors to interact with brain cell membranes to control inflammation and also control our metabolism. Okay. Remember, 3% of our human genome is tied directly or indirectly, controlled by the endocrine functions of vitamin D system. Okay. So I stress vitamin D all the time. I post pictures on my social media of how much vitamin D I got, all that stuff. Talking about get outside, get your vitamin D, all that. Because vitamin D is basically a proxy into your health. If your vitamin D levels are low, then your health is low. And you can guarantee inflammation is going on in your body. And if you don't reverse that quickly, symptoms will escalate and then disease presentation will occur. So very, very important to get rid of the inflammation and get your vitamin D levels up. So it's also how environmental signals connect with the expression of DNA through our mitochondrial matrix and the antennas on our surfaces. So the 4 most important surfaces or antennas is our eye, skin, gut, and lung. So you know I'm huge and about circadian biology, and the number one thing to fix your circadian biology, circadian rhythm, is getting morning sunlight on the eye, on as much skin as you can, okay? Then PPARs are the receptor at the intersection of where inflammation and metabolism cross at the cell membrane where DHA is located. So we'll talk about DHA big time coming up here. Okay, it's one of the omega-3 fatty acids. Okay, so the translation basically of this slide, nutrition has an immediate changes in DNA activation, but changes its genomic expression by changing our hormonal status to change the genomic body plan, okay? Basically what that means is epigenetics over genetics, okay? So epigenetics is more important than our genetics. Epigenetics is basically the environment we create for ourselves by the choices we make or the choices that we are forced to make or think we're forced to make based on our beliefs, okay? So Dr. Jack Kruse has a quote I always reference. you cannot get better in health if in the same environment that you got sick in. Okay, so in order to get better, we need to change our environment. And environment could mean a whole host of things. So it could be the food you're eating, the food you're not eating, the place you live, the place you work, how much time you spend outside, how much time you spend inside. And I mean, the list can go on and on and on and on. The people you hang out with, okay? Epigenetics over genetics. So we have ultimate control over epigenetics, which has control over our genetics. All right, getting on to DHA. So DHA has a direct effect on human epigenetics. So it has special electrical properties inside our cell and also our brain. So DHA is the most important nutrient that we need to be consuming on a regular basis. Okay. DHA, its lipid structure is different in the brain compared to when a scientist is going to study it under a microscope. So the effects are lost when DHA is consumed supplement form versus seafood, actual food. Okay. The reason is DHA is adjacent to each other in the brain, and the electrons are closer together than when in pill or liquid state or supplement state. So DHA can become its own receptor in a membrane to allow for amazing electrical abilities. Okay, that's why DHA has never been replaced in the cell in any life form in over 600 million years. Okay, and DHA, its content, we've got the most of it. Well, actually, the highest concentration is in our eye. Again, that's why that antenna, that surface, is the most important surface. Okay, so eye, skin, gut, lung. Okay. Now, when your epigenetics change, NF-kappa beta cells are activated. So NF-kappa beta cells are very bad. So DHA is an inhibitor of those cells. So NF-kappa beta are basically cellular markers of inflammation. So I got a little side note here of these. Hold on one second. Okay, let's go. All right, so this is a little side note about NF-kappa beta. It's a protein complex that controls transcription of DNA, cytokine production, which is bad, and also cell survival. NF-kappa beta is found in almost all animal cell types and is involved in cellular responses to stimuli such as stress, cytokines, free radicals, heavy metals, ultraviolet irradiation, oxidized LDL, and bacterial or viral antigens. NF-kappa beta plays a key role in regulating the immune response to infection. Incorrect regulation of NF-kappa beta cells has been linked to cancer, inflammatory and autoimmune diseases, septic shock, viral infection, and improper immune development. NF-kappa beta has also been implicated in processes of synaptic plasticity and memory. Okay. All right. Whoop. Okay. Yep, I was done with that. Okay. Now, DHA number 2. So humans are the only species that can change our DNA expression and activation just by the way we think. Okay, this has been proven through MRIs and PET scans. DHA concentration is directly correlated with disease, also human brain power. So the more DHA we have, okay, the less and less you have to worry about getting a disease. But also the less you have, the more and more you have to worry about getting the disease. Also, the more we have, the higher our brain power will be. Okay? And that will translate into basically a better everything. Better life, better happiness, all that stuff. Okay? It's all about epigenetics over genetics. So we have total control over our DNA if we learn how to use the proper power. Okay. Now I understand some people do have a truly genetic disease, and that really sucks. Okay, but I'm talking to the people that do not have a genetic disease. We have total control over our DNA if we learn how to use that power. And that's basically the power of epigenetics. All right, so Epi-Paleo introduction. All right, so what we need to do is we need to think of food as hormone information, not metabolic information. Think of it as hormone juice. And you need to think of the Epi-Paleo diet as human jet fuel for our nervous system. And there's basically 12 steps. And then Epi, so the original definition is above. So some people might think Epi means above paleo. It's not. Epi stands for epigenetics. Okay? So we want to control our epigenetics, so we control our body, and we control our health, and we control our brain. All right. So step one, we need a constant supply of DHA and EPA in our food. So EPA is one of the other sources of omega-3 fatty acids. We need it in not the supplement form. We need it in seafood form or sea vegetable form. Okay. To support the metabolism and the structure of the brain. DHA has many unstable double bonds, and so if it's outside of its chemical structure, then that's bad. It's going to cause inflammation and bad stuff. So there's basically three positions that DHA can be in: SN1, SN2, SN3. Okay. SN2 is the position we need it to be in. Most supplements are not in that position. So very little of the DHA is actually absorbed. Okay. Step two, oh, I'm sorry, before I move to that, side note, some people may need to still supplement with DHA. It's best to just get your blood work tested for your omega-3 panels. So step two, optimal ratio is 4:1 of omega-6 to omega-3 fatty acids. That's for all tissues, but it's most importantly for the central and peripheral nervous system, because in there we have the most excitable membranes and neurons. All right, step 3 through 5. If your brain is in optimal form, the things it controls are also working well. So brain basically controls everything. Okay. If it's not, then you're in trouble. You've got inflammation going on, and then we've got some work to do to fix it. So any type of disease, any type of symptoms that you're experiencing, that is a sign of inflammation. Step 4, if the brain is working well, then inflammation is low in the brain and also the body. So all diseases stem from inflammation again. Okay, so if we've got inflammation, remember we've got NF-kappa beta cells, we've got cytokines, we've got reactive oxygen species, ROS, we've got free radicals going on. All that stuff is bad. Step 5, with low inflammation, leptin and all distal hormones in the metabolic chain remain in allostasis. Allostasis is basically stability or homeostasis within. So basically good. And then with low inflammation, we basically do not need outside intervention. Okay? This is, excuse me, absolutely huge for understanding how to treat and heal disease. You must understand hormone allostasis and function to heal. And the problem is most doctors and most in modern medicine, they do not understand. They are the biggest drug pushers in the world. Okay? Obviously, people know about real drug pushers who are on the street corners. they know they're doing something illegal, they're trying to hide. And people buying the drugs, they're trying to hide that they're buying the drugs. And but you go into a doctor's office, basically writes you a prescription pad, says, here, take this, okay? They're pushing drugs on you all day, and it's legal. And unfortunately, it should not be. Because you should not be, well, some people should. It just depends on every situation. Every situation is different. So if you have type 1 diabetes, you're going to be on basically a drug, insulin, your entire life. But sometimes prescriptions, medication, they can save a life. But you should not be on that for an extended period of time. Okay? You should not be on that prescription. You should not be on that medication for the rest of your life, like your doctor wants you to be. Okay? Because you're just a number to them. So we want to get off the prescription drugs as fast as humanly possible. Because remember, the 4 antennas, the 4 most important surfaces of us is the eye, the skin, the gut, the lung. Medications, prescriptions, they mess up the gut flora like no other. Okay? Among other side effects. All right. So step 6, brain nutrients. I am going to separate this into 2 parts. I don't want to make each part too long. Plus, it's my bedtime. I don't want to interfere with that. I have to get the circadian rhythm, circadian biology up and right. So we'll pick back up on step 6, brain nutrients, and that'll be for part 2. But again, if you have questions, obviously, let me know, all that good stuff. And have a good night. Have a good day. Stay strong. Stay positive. Be the improvement warrior.